When it comes to the things of Yahweh, our presentations to Him is good enough, actually good enough. Hi, Sperry folks, a 10-minute Torah, day number 3, the Torah portion Emor. Let's continue reading in Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 22. Let's drop down to verse number 18. Speak to Aaron and his sons and to all the children of Israel, and say to them, any man of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, who brings his offering for any of his vows, or for any of his voluntary offerings, which they bring to Yahweh as an ascending offering, for your acceptance is a male, a perfect one from the cattle, from the sheep, or from the goats. Whatever has a defect you do not bring, for it is not acceptable for you. When a man brings an offering or a slaughtering of peace offerings to Yahweh to complete a vow or a voluntary offering from the cattle or the sheep, it is to be perfect, to be acceptable. Let there be no defect in it. Those blind or broken or cut and having an ulcer or eczema or scabs, you do not bring to Yahweh, nor make an offering by fire of them on the slaughter place to Yahweh. And then he continues. He says in verse 24, do not bring to Yahweh what is bruised, crushed, torn, or cut, nor do it in your land. So Yah is saying, I'm picky. I am particular. I want things done a certain way. And that was what we should expect. And that is that Yah wants things done right. There is, or should be, an immediate drawing of our attention to the book of Malachi. Malachi, the Italian prophet, Dominic Zangla of blessed memory, used to say. He says here in the book of Malachi, chapter number 1, that there is a love-hate relationship. He loves Yaakov, but he hates Esau. And as we continue to read, he's speaking against Esau, and then he identifies him as Edom, or the Edomites. And then he talks about, in verse 6, how a son esteems his father and a servant his master. But I'm your father, and where's my esteem? Reading between the lines a little here. And again, this is just me speaking. This is the Phillips translation, so to speak. There's an awareness that Esau did not esteem his father. He loved his father, perhaps. He wanted what his father had to offer him, but by his choice of lifestyle, he married into the pagan women around him, knowing that mom and dad would not like that or appreciate that, and that it was a violation of the covenant lineage, or the covenant line of lineage. And so he did not esteem his father, and Yah is taking the same attitude then toward people who are behaving as Esau. But these are not just any people. These are his chosen servanthood, the Levites in particular. And at least in this setting, this is not to say that he has rejected the Levitical priesthood. You've probably heard me say that enough to know that that's not true. He is, in this situation, he is saying to those who approach his altar, you treat me like Esau did his father, and you are not esteeming me. And they're saying, what do we do? How have we despised you? Yah's actually accused. You despise me, and you despise my table, my altar. And what does he say in verse 7? You are presenting defiled food on my slaughter place. You ask what way we defiled you. And it says, because you say the table of Yahweh is despicable. When you present the blind as a slaughtering, is it not evil? And when you present the lame and the sick, is it not evil? Bring it then to your governor. Would he be pleased with you? Would he accept you favorably? Said Yahweh of hosts. And here we have this dramatic contrast. If your governor does not want your diseased, blind, crippled animals for you to bring them to him to eat, why do you think Yahweh Sabaoth the master of the legions of the host. Why do you think I want it? There is then this attitude of it'll just have to do. The priest at the point in which Malachi is writing are saying to them, Yah is not accepting of your efforts. He is not pleased with what it is that you're bringing to him because you have this casual, no care, nonchalant attitude, and it's like, it's good enough. It'll have to do. The very core principle at work here is that Yah does not want our good enough. He is not accepting of our good enough or our half-hearted, low energy, status quo efforts. How many more descriptors do I need to use here? He wants our best. Now, it could be as it was when years and decades ago, traveling as an evangelist to various churches, preaching revivals many years ago. It was a frequent occasion someone would get up to sing, quote unquote, the special. You had choir songs and you had the special before the preaching began. And someone would get up and say, well, I haven't practiced, and but somebody asked for me to sing this song, and so, well, y'all just pray for me as well. I try to do my best at this. And then this half-hearted, stumbling version of a tune would come out. And it wasn't about the quality of the voice or whether they could carry a tune or not. It was about I haven't practiced, I'm not prepared. I'm not going to try real hard. I'm just going to do my best, and we'll just see how it turns out. I'm going to wing it, we might say. That doesn't work. Neither would you be impressed if I came to your assembly or to your place, congregation, to your home, to offer a teaching, and I just pulled out whatever was on the top of a notebook and said, I guess we'll just go with this. And I would just kind of hee-haw and stumble through something. That's not impressive. It wouldn't be to you and wouldn't be to Yah. Yah wants the best that we have. In the book of Mark, chapter number 7, Yeshua is dealing with those who have succumbed to mere tradition. Traditions are good if they enforce the word, if they reinforce truth, if they are used to consistently remind us of what we are to do and how we are to do it. There are some traditions that are valuable to us, but when tradition replaces the validity of the word, and as Yeshua claims here and makes this accusation against them, he's saying you're elevating your traditions above the word, and you therefore are making the word of no value and to have no effect. And a case in point, he says, Moshe said, respect your father and your mother, and he who curses father or mother, let him be put to death. That's Mark 7, verse 10. But you say, if a man says to his father or mother, whatever profit you might have received from me is korban, that it is a gift, you no longer let him do any matter at all for his father or his mother. He said, you're nullifying the word. So there was the practice of whatever I am responsible and accountable to give to my mom and to my dad, I'm instead going to give it to my attention to the altar or to some valuable work in my estimation for the kingdom or for the work of Yah. You can't deny the absoluteness of the command to take it to a lofty position whereby you disallow the command for your lofty position. Yah wants our best. He wants our heart. He wants our pure heart. Whatever you do, do it with all your might as unto Yah. So whatever you do, whether it's publicly, behind the scenes, it doesn't matter. Give it your best. Prepare, pray, set yourself in order, set yourself apart, and know that Yah will be with you. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Until then, shalom.